UK self-defense green, and time to sharpen the blades. Oh yeah. Okay, I've got an apology to make because I've got a lot of emails asking where I've been on my website UK self-defense green on YouTube, and accept my apology because I've been incarcerated. I've actually been in prison, and the reason why I was put in prison was on a moral issue. The moral issue being I refused to pay a fine. I had a court case in 2015 that got a lot of national publicity, and a gentleman from the government got found out lying against me. Now, as far as I'm aware, and as far as the law says, if you go under oath and you lie in court, in a Crown court, then you're guilty of perjury. But nothing has happened to this gentleman. So, for that reason, I refused to pay and I went to court. Anyway, as you know, I'm a martial artist, or foremost, a self-defense instructor. And I study lots of different martial arts systems. Now, let me tell you here and now, I've been in a category B prison. I've been with some of the worst offenders that you can imagine. Any crime that you can imagine, I was thrown in with these guys. Murders, rapists, gangsters, fraudsters, you name it, drug addicts, I was in with these guys. The first 2 days, I was locked up for 23 hours a day. On the third day, get this, I had 3 guys come to my cell, 1 outside, 3 inside. Black guy, 2 white guys, one like Iranian or something, telling me how it was going down. When I walked in, who did I think I was with Bruce Lee on my arm? And, you know, basically, they in Manchester, they say, put it on you. That's what happened. So to cut a long story short, I'm not a man who will have anybody bullying me. So I told these guys, don't forget, I'm in a cell. I'm cornered like a rat. So I told them, this is what I said. I said, listen, you can go outside and you can tell anybody I'll fight with them. But this is what you got to expect. You're either going to lose your eyeball, I'll bite a piece out your face or bite your nose off, or I'll smash your knee so bad that you'll need surgery for the next 10 years. I said, no, fuck off and leave me alone. Well, they didn't know what to say. And next thing they're saying, well, Johnson kind of, I don't want nothing. Get out my cell, leave me alone. Anyway, over the next couple of days, I earned quite a lot of respect. People started to look at my website. They started to look at UK Self-Defense Green on YouTube. And I started to find out who were the fighters in the prison. Cut a long story short, I got a little club together. Now take in mind, you're locked up many hours of the day. But when we were allowed out after dinner times, and for twice a day, I had people come to my cell, single guys, boxers, jiu-jitsu guys, mixed martial artists, and we were doing between 15 and 30-minute workouts. Nothing more than I was saying to people, just attack me and I'll see what I can do and I'll show you what I do. It's occurred to me that even the biggest, craziest guys, when they attack you, normally attack with like a roundhouse, like a haymaker. Most other guys, especially the ones that are trained in boxing, kind of come at you with a flurry of punches. And a couple of guys have been there for stabbing people, who I'm into edged awareness and what have you. I can train in that. We had some very good conversations, and I picked their brains as to why they stab people and how they actually did it. Believe you me, if you think when somebody stabs you, it's like what you see on the movies, it's not at all. When they come at you, and what they describe to me is very scary indeed. As Danny Nasanto says from JKD, the best thing to do is either run away or get an equaliser. An equaliser means what he calls a pitcher of beer, a handful of sand, anything, a table, a stool. Just get some distance in between you and that person and get away. But I disagree with a lot of martial arts systems, because martial arts are martial arts. Now, a lot of guys say, my system's the best, you can do this. Listen, if you're training in 4,000 techniques to grade for your black belt, then I'm sorry, but you can't think, even the psychology shows that you can't think of those 4,000 techniques when somebody's going to go at you in a nanosecond, right? So I follow, as you know, Bruce Lee's philosophy. Simplify the simple. So I like to do 5 hand techniques. Although I train in multiple hand techniques, I have a core of 5 in boxing. I have a core of 5 in Panatukan. I have a core from 5, which is like a mix of Panatukan, JKD and Wing Chun. I have the standard fundamental kicks that we all have in most martial arts systems. I mean, an elbow strikes. What more do you need? If you watch Mike Tyson doesn't stand there, over and over and over and over going through 10,000 techniques. He goes through a handful of techniques, but he gets them so quick and so fast that he's devastating. So, what I'm going to be doing in the future is bringing you a lot of techniques of the stuff that I learned in prison to use on guys that were attacking me when I asked them to in controlled conditions that actually work. If you want to be going after a system that's going to tell you that you can do this flashy kick or that flashy kick, and you've got a guy who's 6'2", weighs 18 or 19 stone, and he's running at you and he's covering some serious ground, then you're totally deluded. It ain't going to happen. You can walk around with all your fancy black belts as much as you want, mate. It just is not going to happen. And if you think you are good, then get yourself in prison and check it out. You see, what I'm saying holds true because in mixed martial arts, which I really like, the guys in mixed martial arts, when that came into the public eye, they showed that all that fancy flash stuff really doesn't work. And even the stuff like the Gracies when they do the ground and pound, I mean, there's only a few guys in the world that you ever see do something really, enjoyable on the floor. If you watch Olympic wrestling, for instance, and that's different. That's like amazing. If you watch Eric Pawson, who is absolutely the world's best ground and pound coach in the world, when you see him teaching, it's like watching a man with another man expressing their physicality like playing a chess game. It's incredible. But in reality, when it comes down to that skill being applicable in a fighting situation, only 1, maybe 2 techniques would ever possibly really work. So, as the website moves forward and my YouTube channel, I'm going to bring new stuff like diet and nutrition. I'm going to bring you bodybuilding workouts and hardcore workouts to get you really kind of get your power up and get your strength up. We're going to look at new flexibility routines. And I'm also going to start bringing in guys to show you some of the stuff, mimic some of the stuff that I did in prison. I got a little club together. They allowed me to get a little club together in a recreational room downstairs in the prison. So I had quite a number of guys coming in for Panatukan type lessons, which is dirty boxing. And I had a lot of guys coming in for flexibility. And I can tell you now, there are some guys out there that you just do not want to come up across in the street. I mean, one of the guys in there, a guy called Clarkey, who I've become very good friends with. This guy is a huge bodybuilder. He's going to be a sensation when he comes out. I mean, naturally massive. His arms were just, I've never seen a guy, he reminded me of Arnold Schwarzenegger, just an amazing man of colour. So I've had opportunities to be with all these people in this enclosed environment with nowhere to run. When you're locked up in prison, you ain't got nowhere to run. You can't go to your mum and dad, you've got to rely on your skill. And that is your environment, your weapons training. I mean, you've always got to be on the alert. On the 3rd or 4th day that I was in there, I saw a guy who was directly opposite from my cell. He had a bit of an attitude. I didn't like him at all, but I didn't look at this guy. I just let him get on with what he did. Somebody got him downstairs near the laundry. Boy, they smashed this guy to pieces. One guy on him. And that's the kind of environment. It was so oppressive. It was so violent. There was so much drugs inside. There was so much mayhem. From the time the cells were open in the morning, first early morning, the screaming, the shouting. It was like being in a dog kennel with barking dogs all day, non-stop. I mean, luckily I got into educational programs, and so I got out the cell, and but it took a week and a half before that happened. Anyway, I want to thank the people that have stayed with me, my subscribers, and all the new people that start to subscribe. And all I can say is there's a dangerous world out there, and we're going to be looking at new psychology. I've been doing some more research and study. It's all based on the flinch response. I mean, black belts have the view that if you say to somebody, I'm going to teach somebody how to defend themselves in a day, 2 days, a week, 6 weeks. They say, well, how can you do that? I mean, it takes you 3 or 4 years to get a downgrade. Yeah, but that's an art. You're practicing an art, and everything that goes with it, you're trying to perfect that art. You're not teaching somebody to perfect themselves on the street or to have awareness of the street, and that is what I'm into. I mean, regardless of how flash I can be doing my martial arts, and I've learned like Bruce Lee, cut it down, use psychology, use your environment, and if you can, don't even get yourself in the place where violence is. Anyway, this is Prince, UK Self-Defense Green. It's wonderful to be back, and I will start posting very soon, and I'd like to wish you all a great evening. Yeah, love and peace.